Right, we're recording. So
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Sarah Nettles, and I am the sibling of a missing person, Damien Nettles. He went missing in 1996 at 16 years old. Being a sibling to a missing person is definitely unique. As such, I am the co-creator of an organization called International Siblings of the Missing, which is a community of siblings who have missing siblings who have a missing brother or sister. And it's a really unique group in that we are able to support each other in what we're going through and what we've gone through, and be able to identify with each other's stories. It's a great group. And so today I am with Natasha Walker, whose sister Katrice went missing in 1981. And I just want to ask you a few questions, Natasha. Thanks for joining. So tell me a little bit about your missing sister. What do you remember about her as a person, and how long has she been missing?
So Katrice has been missing since the 28th of November 1981. It was actually her second birthday that day, so we had her for 2 years. And I can remember the little Shirley Temple curls that she had, just cheeky and mischievous, very much sort of like a mini me. So I am 5 years older than Katrice, so I am literally the doting big sister, you know, such a proud sister. And Mum said that I would be, you know, like running off the school bus, because we lived out in Germany. She went missing in Germany, so I'd be running off the military school bus and she'd be waiting at the door for me. You know, literally it's like me and my shadow. So wherever I was, 9 times out of 10 she was.
Oh, bless. And so what do you remember about the day that she went missing?
So it was Katrice's second birthday, and we lived in a place called Williamsburg, or the British nicknamed it Legoland. And my parents were getting ready to go shopping for the naffy and to get some stuff for a party. And my Auntie Wendy and Uncle Cliff were coming down from Bielefeld, and they were going to come and spend a day with us. So Mum's pottering around in the kitchen. I remember walking into the kitchen. It's like an orange jelly mould on the side, and I remember just going into the kitchen saying, I don't want to come shopping today. And she said, that's fine, if you don't want to come, don't come. So I stayed at home, my then Uncle Cliff, and off went my mum Katrice and my dad and my Auntie Wendy. Fast forward, and next thing I know is that my dad went in through the front door, just my dad. I'm sat on my knees, leaning against the sofa, playing Playmobil stuff, and my dad just says, couldn't find Katrice. So I'm 7, really understand what that means, because when you're 7 years old, you lose a boy, you find an hour or two later. It's not until we get to the car, my dad's had to pull over and park the car, that I see my mum, and she is just screaming, and I suddenly realise that, you know, a 7-year-old mind's process is a lot different, I think, times to an adult. I just knew there was something really bad had happened. And obviously, as I've got older and speaking to parents and my mum, what had happened, it was the last payday for Christmas for it, so they were going to the supermarket. It was the only supermarket. It was based in a town called Snowy House. It was near a college. On that day, there was a German open day for colleges. So literally, Schloss Snowy House was absolutely packed. My dad couldn't get a car park space, so he said to my mum and my aunt, you go in with Reese, I'll go on the car park, get space, and come in and join you guys. So Mum and Wendy going with Katrice. Mum said Katrice has been a little bit bugger, wouldn't go to trolley. So Mum carried her around the store. They got to the checkout, and Mum said to my Auntie Wendy, I haven't got the crisps. Put Katrice down to my auntie, and she went back to the shop to get the crisps. Literally within 30 seconds of both turning their heads, Katrice disappeared. My mum had got back to the checkout and said to my Auntie Wendy, where's Katrice? My Auntie Wendy said she owed you. And it was literally 30 seconds that neither of them had any sort of like eye contact with her, and she just disappeared. And from then on, really, I mean, you know, it's 39 years this year Katrice will have been in.
It just just as a mother, you know, I hear that, right, and just my entire body reacts, right? I mean, it's just, and then just imagining you as a little girl, just the trauma of seeing your mother just reacting in the way that she did. I can't even imagine, you know, what that would do to a little girl.
I can hear it now, you know, you can just talk about it. It's just those things sticks with you, and it was absolutely curdling.
Yeah, I can imagine, right? And I think I said earlier when you said something, I said, oh, I can't imagine, but I can imagine, you know, being, you know, the reaction as
exactly right.
Yeah, the reaction as a sibling and how you feel when you realize this is happening. But I do think, you know, you were 7, I was 19. I think there's a very big difference in how we would have processed this as you know, as the sibling. So how do you think that
yeah, it's so difficult because only way I can describe it is that I woke up one day with all my family, and then the following day I woke up with nobody because I went to somebody else for a week, and then a week later I got my parents back, still waiting to my sister back.
Yeah, that's just so sad. So how do you think that just for in your life, how has this impacted you emotionally, and how have you processed this, you know, these events and not having your sister?
So for me, it took me a long time to get to where I am today at 46. I couldn't travel where I like going anywhere on my own because I thought that he was out to get me. You know, my gosh, what are they looking at me? Do they want to hurt me? You know, and I would really cautious where I was going. If someone was following me, or see again, someone was following me, they weren't following me, they were just walking behind me, right? But someone would have been following me, they would be there, I'd be hearing leaf drop, and it'd be, you know, it just heightened everything. Right. And myself not going shopping that day, and you know what, if I'd have gone shopping today, could I have stopped it? Probably not. You know, and I've just you know, and I'm literally in a good place now where I know I could not stop it. I may not necessarily have seen the person who took her, you know, so I need to just try and enjoy my life now and not feel guilty for having to be able to smile, you know, and just enjoy stuff for me, not feeling I haven't thought about Katrice for like 30 seconds because it just overwhelms you. And although I've tried to make this define the person that I am, it has really made me some of what I am.
Yeah.
You know, I am loud, boisterous, you know, I'm here at me, you know, I need to be seen and heard. And sometimes I think, well, younger and probably growing up, it's almost like everything is all about Katrice, and it would just be nice to have something attached. And for me, you know, I know that if anybody else watches this who isn't walking in similar shoes to me, probably going to think, you absolute heart beep, you know, but that's just how you feel inside because you're the sister or the brother that's still there, and there's all this focus on the missing person, you know, and I'm probably loud like I am now because I need to be seen and heard because probably in the background, right? But I know that everything was done was to protect me, so I have no blame from my parents at all because they did the right thing at the right time for all of us. But there was nothing in 1981 for me. I had no nobody to talk to. There is like we've got great support now, right? So I can just dial in, message, or whatever, and go, you know what, guys, like, this is how I feel today, and it's like, yeah, get that. It's okay to be like that. Don't feel guilty about having those feelings.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that guilt, I totally relate to the feelings of guilt. I think a lot of siblings feel that. I mean, you know, what could I have done? Did I do something? Could I have stopped it? Could I have I think guilt is a huge factor in a lot of siblings experience.
Yeah, and I think me as well is there's lots of reports over the years, speculations about, especially the last 2 years, about what happened to Katrice, and I struggled with the fact that, you know, there was a report of possibly somebody abducting a young girl, raping them, murdering them, pinning their names on the bed, you know, burying them. And I just thought to myself, oh God, I wasn't there to protect my sister, you know, and the last few moments of her life, if she was dead and if she was buried there, would have just been torture for her. She would have been frightened, you know. And for me, I struggled with that. I struggled to comprehend that. And I did blame myself, thinking, God, if it has happened, I was not there to save her. I was not there to protect her. I was not to tell her it all okay. But I've had counselling now, and the way I've had to get and deal with that is that sometimes, if, for example, probably a wrong lady gets shot, they're in so much pain, almost like they detach themselves from their body. So my brain's just impute, okay, if something dreadful like that really did happen to the priest, chances are she wouldn't felt it because it would have detached herself from her body. I mean, obviously we don't know what's happened to her, but I've thought of all the worst case scenarios.
Yeah.
Sarah, you have, like with Damien, right? You
Absolutely.
You walk worst shoes, the darkest stuff, you know, but I'm trying my hardest not to let that consume me and just deal with facts of what I know that Katrice is missing.
Yeah, I think there's something in that where there is a detachment almost. There has to be a detachment because, I mean, you know, I've told you that, you know, I've had those stories about Damien where just the most awful things have been told about what happened to him, right? Just in the rumors, etc. And then just the empathy, the understanding of what that would have meant for him and what he went through, if that was in fact the truth. I mean, I detached from that because the images and the absolute overwhelming feeling of what they must have gone through if something bad actually happened, that's too enormous. I mean, it's too much to even bear. I mean, you have to detach at some point.
Yeah, and you know, we're already being punished enough. We don't have to punish ourselves as well.
Right, absolutely. And I think that that's a really good point. So what do you find that understanding about understanding the term ambiguous loss, how's that helped you to kind of process?
For me, like, I'll probably go on for ages. So for me, you know, ambiguous loss is really, you know, you don't know what's happened, okay? So how can you grieve? Because you can't grieve because, yes, you have lost this person, but you don't really know if they're alive or dead. I've got no grave to go to grieve if that's what's happened. You know, so I've lost that person, but actually they could be in 300 miles down the road from me, have children, another family, you know, all that sort of stuff. So for me, the ambiguous loss thing very much, I can't grieve. It's out there, I've lost her, but I can't grieve because I know that she's dead.
Right. Yeah. And that's huge, because I think in the whole, you have steps of grieving, right? And you can go through some of those steps, but then the closure, I think the closure is what you need to be able to understand that now you can kind of separate from that and move on. Where having a missing person in your life, you're still attached to them at some point, right? I mean, you have no closure.
No, and I'll do a quote my dad would love it, who said that missing is the worst word in the British dictionary.
Say that again.
So he's really wrong with that. That that missing is the worst word British dictionary or English dictionaries would say. Just missing is the worst word because they're not doing.
So what did your dad say?
So my dad said that missing is the worst word in the English dictionary. And he really isn't wrong with that. Yeah, because you don't know, you know, when someone passes away, no matter how awful it is and traumatic it is, you know, and have that grace to go to grief. But for us, until we find that person, dead or alive, we just know. We have to live with this constant empty space. And it's just almost like this black hole that continues to go on and on and on and on. There's no light at the end of it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it. That's how I feel as well. So, you know, you and I, and several other siblings, we've co-created a community called International Siblings of the Missing. Why do you think this is important for us and people like us?
It's a safe space. Right. It's somewhere we can go and say, hey guys, this is how I feel today. I'm having a particularly bad day. I don't know. There's days when I thought I just want to find Katrice dead because they've got a grave to grieve, and we just know it's not the you know, it's not the best outcome, but it's an outcome. And I think, you know, if having a particular bad day, you should be able to say to people, this is how I feel. And we're not there to judge people. We're to listen, say, actually, we felt that, we've been through that. You know, this is a safe space for you to tell us how you're feeling.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, if you are a sibling of a missing person, we would love you to join our community. Please find us on Facebook. You can also find us. We have a website, internationalsiblingsofthemissing.com, and we would love to hear from you, and love for you to join our community if you have a missing sibling. Thank you for chatting with me, Natasha, and yeah, have a great one.
Thank you.
Chat to me.
And you, thank you.